Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Hour. I'm Stefanis, here with Mike Mihas and Cody Tuttle, as always. Tonight's guest is Jeb Tonkin from Ground Zero Fighting Systems in West Virginia. We'll be bringing him on in a few minutes. Gonna catch up for a minute. What have you been up to, Mike? You got back to the mats yesterday? Mike, you're muted.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah.
All right. Are we? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I went back to the mats yesterday, and my first roll, I got a black and blue
Another
eye,
injury.
and I got all the skin ripped off the top of my eyelash here and here because I can't roll normal. I don't have normal rolling in my blood. I have kill rolling. No, I don't. No, it was just weird position, and he caught me. His gi just glided across my face, but it was real hard and part of rolling, and that was my welcome back to jiu-jitsu. I got I got a black and blue eye.
You
So
got your eye ripped off.
yeah, so I
You know, if
started
you
off
had,
injuries. I leave injuries. I started off injuries.
if you hadn't stopped rolling, your skin wouldn't have become deconditioned, and
I
you would be
know,
fine
that's
right
what it
now.
was.
But
That's
you
what it
became
was.
weaker in that month off.
I have, and I honest to God, I feel it because my face is always getting bashed. It wasn't like he came on me that hard. It was just the way he just his his rib cage and gi glided across my face ever so violently that now my skin is missing and my eye is turning black and blue. And people were looking at me today like, "Hey, did you compete this week?" I'm like, "Nah, nah, nothing." But my doctor gave me the okay to start rolling again, and I'm good to go. So, what have you been up to, Cody? Getting ready for that big tournament?
Yeah, I just trying to get everything finalized for the tournament on the 31st. Decided to do a giveaway on our podcast Facebook page for everyone that hasn't seen it. If you just go and share the poster that we posted on our wall, if you share it on your wall, we can see that you shared it, and you'll be entered into a random drawing to compete for free. So if you want to compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament for free, all you have to do is click one button, and that's it. We're gonna enter your name into a random drawing. I found a website that randomizes and selects a winner online. Pretty cool thing to do. And next Thursday on our show, we'll announce our winner. We'll have another contest the following week. So next Thursday, after we announce the winner, we'll announce our second contest. In case you didn't win, you'll get a second chance. But this is definitely the easiest way to compete for free at any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament.
Cody,
The member, the members of the BJJ Hour are not eligible. Sorry, Mike.
Cody. Now, for people that are like in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, what's a driving distance so everybody knows? So
Pittsburgh's
people have
about
a feel for
45
it.
minutes.
Okay.
So we're it's at Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where WVU, West Virginia University, is located. So it's about 45 minutes from Pittsburgh. It is about an hour and 10 minutes from Wheeling, West Virginia. So if you're coming from Columbus, you're about 120 miles from Wheeling. So it's about 3 hours from Columbus. I'm not sure how far it is from Cleveland, but you can kind of gauge it off of an additional 45 minutes that it would take you to get to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
North of Pittsburgh, it's not a bad drive. All interstate, very easy to get to. It's being held at a mall. You guys have been down there before. Pretty weird venue, but lots of space. Not a whole lot of people, not a lot of traffic to deal with. So it's not too bad.
Now, Cody, another question: are there going to be kids divisions, females? What's all the divisions? How's that going down?
Yeah, so there's kids and teens divisions, and it's always hard to do um, you know real big kids divisions, and really stick to like strict weight classes. So we almost have to pair them up based on who shows up. But we're gonna make as size and age appropriate groupings for the kids and the teens. There are women's divisions. There's actually a pretty good amount of women that have confirmed that they're coming. We're over 5 right now, and
Nice.
it's a round robin. So you're going to compete against everybody in your weight class. So if you're looking for a good way to get as much experience as possible, and that's really like the whole goal, that's my entire goal behind the tournament, is to allow each competitor to get as much mat time and competition experience as possible. Not the best tournament to compete at if you want to win one match and get your gold medal, but if you want to come out and have a bunch of matches, it's submission only. So you're going to compete for 6 minutes. If you go to a draw, you get 0 points. If you get submitted, you lose a point. And if you submit your opponent, you get 1 point. The person with the most points after everybody has faced each other in the bracket is going to be the winner. So I did one once like that. I thought it was a lot of fun. It made it worth the drive instead of just having 1 or 2 matches. So I wanted to allow other people to experience something that I enjoyed. So I decided to go with those rules. But we
nice.
Should have a good women's division. The men's divisions are going to follow like standard MMA weight classes. We are having an absolute division with a cash prize. It's going to be like $250. It's just going to be submission only, so it's not going to be round robin. It'll just be submission, like true submission only. But you'll get to win some money if you make it out on top.
Maybe I'll jump in that. No, my competing days are over.
I think I saw a link there.
My competing days are over.
Our guest tonight is a guy that I considered for a long time to be like my main coach. Phil Davis and Don Cunanan are the 2 black belts down in Morgantown where I was training. But the way that my dental school class schedule worked out, it seemed that I could never make the classes that they taught, and I was always coming in on the like the off days. And Jeb had just gotten his purple belt back in like 2009, and he was running the classes. And for probably most of my blue belt career, like he was like my main influence in jiu-jitsu. I haven't seen him a ton since I've graduated, and he's down in Bridgeport, and I'm up in Wheeling. But we've still made a couple fun jiu-jitsu trips over to Ryan Hall's gym over in 50/50 over in Arlington and stuff like that. And he's been around a bunch of real high-level grapplers, and it should be interesting to see what he's up to now, since he's kind of moving away from a full-time jiu-jitsu life and transitioning into the real world. So if you want to give him a call, I think I got his phone number for you there, and let's bring Jeb on.
Is he Skyping in or is it phone?
He's gonna use his phone. He's a police officer now, so he's heading to work soon. He's gonna catch up with us right before he starts his night shift.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he can't show his face because he's a police officer. I was waiting to get some cool story about like.
He's not undercover, so.
Oh, that'd be sweet. I'd like to see him do some undercover work.
He was up in Wheeling for the Gary Tonin seminar. He told me he's going to be the canine handler now.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What's up? It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Hour.
What's going on, guys?
Jeb, what's going on, man?
What's up, Jeb?
Oh, just sitting here waiting to go to work.
I was telling everyone you yeah, you're good.
Did we hear you?
I was telling everyone you're working the night shift now as a police officer down there in West Virginia. But before that, you were pretty much running a jiu-jitsu academy full time. For everybody that isn't familiar with you want to give just like a quick breakdown on your training history and how you got started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, absolutely. I started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in October of 2006. I was a student at WVU. I was looking for something to do. I was never particularly athletic. Didn't really care much for the gym. I went in on a recommendation of a friend back home. did one class, really liked it, trained, once or twice a week for a couple months, bought a gi, and then the rest is pretty much history. After that, it became, my main job outside of school was to train, as much as possible, and that went on, basically a full-time training schedule until about a year ago when I got this job, and I went to the police academy. But the last year and a half prior to that, I was running my gym in Bridgeport full-time, no other job, training there, or running that place, training at Ground Zero Fighting Systems in Morgantown as well to keep my training up. So that's kind of where I'm at. My school has been open in Bridgeport since late 2010. We're just a small school, just trying to make it like anybody else. I'm a purple belt, under Phil Davis.
You want to talk a little bit
Go ahead.
about how you got started initially with your school down in Bridgeport?
Yeah, I live about an hour south of Morgantown, and Bridgeport kind of falls right in the middle. And we had a coach at Morgantown that was from that area, wanted to try to bring some jiu-jitsu to the area. Asked me if I would do it since I was at close proximity. Started off teaching a couple of days a week at a fitness center. Moved into a very nice location. What I consider a state-of-the-art mat room, and then started doing it full time.
Jeb, I want to ask some now that you're a cop. I want to ask some of the questions about like self-defense. Now, as a police officer with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, is there like a limit what kind of force you can use? Are you allowed to use all your techniques to control a suspect? Are there like certain laws? I was wondering about that, about like people who are trained like extensively and stuff like you are in jiu-jitsu. Are you allowed to like what exactly are you allowed to do?
Sure, that's a good question. Every state's going to have a different law on use of force, and it all depends on the resistance of your suspects. A lot of places don't necessarily, they look down on actually choking somebody. It's not necessarily wrong or illegal, but people get a little bit antsy because they don't understand how things work. But you have to kind of toe the line sometimes. But in my opinion, so far, I'm still a young police officer. I don't have a whole lot of experience, but it helps leaps and bounds in being able to control somebody without actually having to use too much force. So that, in my opinion, it's just the perfect thing for my career.
Okay, so
Now,
oh, go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, are there a lot of cops that train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I mean, since you're an instructor, you're around the police force all day, and are any of the other officers working out with you, or asking how they can get better at real life self-defense?
Sure, there's some. It's a small percentage, and I used to think, wow, you guys need to be doing this. This could be save your life on it. And I still believe that, but I have cut them a little bit of slack since I started the job. It's a busy schedule. It's a hectic schedule. If you've got a family, it's hard to find time for anything else. But there are a percentage of officers in this area that are training with me or training with someone else. Trying to make themselves better prepared for their jobs.
Jeff, let me ask you a question. When you went to the academy and you did the self-defense part, how did you feel like when the instructor was showing you like basic self-defense? Did it bother your ego a little bit? Did you want to jump in there and show them, no, this isn't really going to work. This is going to work. How did that go down?
Well, again, that's a good question, and no, I didn't feel that way at all because my defensive tactics instructor was also a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he's a seasoned police officer. So there was really no question in what he was doing to me. It's a lot different, as anybody knows, self-defense or law enforcement scenarios are a lot different than sport jiu-jitsu. So things that you might think, that would never work, sometimes they do because someone doesn't know what they're doing, or it's just a different environment, there's 2 or 3 people. But no, I really never did question, and I went into it thinking that I would, but I was very pleased with what I came across. Obviously he has a lot of
Actually,
experience.
I got that question because
I've
I've heard other police instructors tell me, I guess I've heard from other that they were taught by someone that wasn't. They didn't have a jiu-jitsu background, so some of the stuff they were
Sure.
showing. But I guess in your case, you had someone who was who had a background in it. So basically, like if you're apprehending someone, you could pretty much use, or we're saying you could pretty much use any, like you could use a choke. You could use an armbar. Would an armbar be practical? Would it be? Would it be? I don't know. Would that be something
Uh,
practical for
unless
China?
you fell right into that position where an armbar is the only thing that you can grab a hold of, I don't see it being
Hmm.
as effective. I mean, sure, it could work. A choke is going to be when the guy's really resisting you hard. You don't want to jump right to that because
Hmm.
you could get yourself in some hot water depending on how it's laid out to other people. So, but yeah, I mean, really, the biggest thing that I took from jiu-jitsu is body control. Just positioning, how to control someone. Physically hang on to them and make them move where you want them to go.
So no 50-50 in when you're arresting someone.
Not yet. Not yet. If that happens, I will be sure to let you guys know.
So you mentioned the the demanding schedule of a of a law enforcement agent. So coming off of pretty much jujitsu as your career, running a gym full time, training in Morgantown when you weren't teaching, how has your new job impacted your training schedule and the way that you're running your classes in Bridgeport? What's the transition like away from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, it was tough at first, but it was kind of cold turkey. I went straight from training jiu-jitsu 8 times a week, strength and conditioning 3 times a week, to none. I trained twice. I was in the academy for 16 weeks, and it was just kind of a social event. Came to see some people, roll a couple rounds, and then when I got out, I normally only train anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week. Sometimes I don't train at all, depending on my court schedule, and I needed to sleep. I work a night shift, but it was a big difference. I still have time to 2 or 3 days a week get in and do strength and conditioning, no matter what, because I think at the very minimum, you have to keep your fitness level up in this job because you just don't know what's going to happen. But it impacted me greatly, and I was worried about it the whole time. And but it's been a rewarding change. I love jiu-jitsu, and I'll continue to do it forever. But it's definitely a change. But it's a change I'm glad that I made.
Jeb, do you think you're going to be competing again anytime soon? Is that possible now with your schedule, your career? Is that even something you're even looking at, or are you kind of putting that on the back burner right
It is
now?
possible. It is definitely on the back burner right now. It is possible. It just depends on how much of my personal time I'm going to be willing to sacrifice in the near future, which, I do want to compete again. I loved to compete before. I didn't, I was never a world-class competitor by any stretch of the imagination, but I did enjoy competing and training for it. So there's been some changes in my life here recently that are going to allow me to be in the gym more. So I'd like to make a run at it, maybe a local tournament here within the next 6 months.
Nice.
It's definitely tough to find that that balance between spending all your time in the gym, when you're not at work, being able to find time to do stuff and just kind of enjoy being alive. I'm struggling with that balance myself. My job is pretty demanding hours wise, and it doesn't really leave me a whole lot of time. So I've kind of traveled that same sort of path that you're doing right now.
Sure, sure. I definitely understand that. When I was training jiu-jitsu all the whole time in college and all the way through, jiu-jitsu was my priority. There was no question about it. Took precedent over relationships, social events, whatever. It was priority. And now, having been completely drug away from jiu-jitsu for about 4 months entirely, and then having to come back and work a 40-hour plus week job, I want to spend time with my friends and my family and go out and do things, and have fun. But jiu-jitsu is always going to be there, once or twice a week, 3 times a week. It's always going to be there in one way or the other. I'm just enjoying it now. I'm not pressuring myself as far as having to make these giant improvements in short periods of time or train for a tournament. I just go in there and I teach my guys and I train and I enjoy it, you know. And luckily, I have a good group of guys who are able to pick up the slack when I can't make it in.
Jeb, you have any guys competing at the tournament, at Cody's tournament coming up?
Tell you the truth, I'm not real sure. I'm sure we're going to have a handful of guys there. It's a local tournament, you know, right up the road in our home area, so I definitely want to send some guys up there, and I will be there myself coaching and helping out whatever they need me for.
Nice. Jeb, I wanted to ask you, I've seen, you know, we've done a lot of tournaments, you know, we've competed a lot of tournaments together. You know, I've seen you coach Cody a lot and a lot of other tournaments. Now, you said you started training in 2006, and you've been a purple belt since 2009?
2010, yes.
Okay, 2010. So you've been a pro. So when do you think your brown belt's coming? Are you? I always ask people that question. I always ask because I like hearing people's reactions. Because most people always say, I don't care about belts. Yeah, I like putting people on the spot about this. I wanna. When do you think you're getting your brown belt? Is it something is it a goal for you, or you just don't care? It just is what it is. How do you look at that?
Well, certainly it's a goal for me. And if you would have asked me this a year ago, before I dove into this career, I would have said it's very important to me. I would assume that you'll see it in the next few months. You know, I'm not my coach. You know, I don't pull that trigger, but there's been some talks of it here and there. And right now, you know, like I said, I'm just enjoying it. When it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, I've learned over the years, man, it's not the color of the belt you wear around your waist. You know, it's how you present yourself on the mat. So it'd certainly be a nice little reward, and I definitely look forward to it. But I'm not losing any sleep over it.
Nice. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Were you about to say something, Cody?
Yeah, well, I was just going to talk. You mentioned 2009, 2010. I wanted to ask you about a trip that you took, like back when I was still a white belt or a blue belt. You and Nate Fitzsimmons went down to the Alliance Worlds Camp. I think it was 2009. Yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to have you talk a little bit about that experience. You know, two basically small town jiu-jitsu guys. You know, West Virginia is definitely not the mecca of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and you guys went down to the Open Worlds Camp and what Alliance won that year, right? Like they won the team title.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you just want to talk about like what that experience was like for you and Nate.
Sure, absolutely. First, let me say, you know, I think West Virginia Jiu-Jitsu has come a long way. And it is what it is. You know, almost across the board, every school in West Virginia is run by somebody who has a full-time career and full-time family. So, you know, we're doing the best we can with what we've got. You know, I don't see any Brazilians like planting themselves in West Virginia, you know, because of the climate. But I digress.
Doesn't really
back
have
to what
that
you
appeal.
asked me. Right, exactly. So, you know, jiu-jitsu, you know, is at a certain point here. It's gotten a lot better over the years. But I went down there for this camp in 2009. I took, like you said, Nate Fitzsimmons with me. And what I would call the most game-changing experience in my jiu-jitsu career. It was an eye-opener. I went down there as a blue belt. I had been a blue belt for about a year. And Cody can tell you, especially in the beginning, man, I was no stud blue belt.
Well, you mentioned that you weren't very athletic when you started jiu-jitsu, and we all know, just looking at your physique, that's a complete lie.
What's that?
I'm just
Smart.
nothing. Go ahead.
He's fucking with you. He's fucking with you.
So anyway,
I'm just messing.
Yeah, I figured. So anyway, we went down there, and this camp was packed full of studs, man. Like you had guys Michael Lange, Bruno Malfacine, Marcelo Garcia was there for a couple of days, Cobrinha, Fabio Gurgel. This was at the time when Alliance didn't have a headquarters on the West Coast, and Cobrinha was full-time teaching. Everybody was there. Everybody, there was anybody in that team was there, minus I think Tarsus Humphrey could not make it. He missed his flight. So I'm talking you have everybody you can think of at this point. You know, it's a different guy running the class every day. I got my ass kicked by everybody. The style was different. The pace was different. The guards were different. everything. The main difference I saw was everybody played open guard, De La Riva guard, spider guard, that kind of style, and everybody stood to pass. And it tore me up. I went from closed guard and passing on the knees, basic level of jiu-jitsu, which there's nothing wrong with, to this new game, this real sport style. And it was like, jumping into the 12-foot section at the pool and not knowing how to swim. It was a game changer. I completely changed my game after that, and I brought that style back with me to Morgantown, where I was teaching a couple of days a week, and it really changed the dynamic of our team. I really think opened our eyes to what real high-level competitive jiu-jitsu is.
I'm a huge Fabio Gurgel fan. Did you get to train with him at the time? Did you get to roll with him? Did you?
I met him and I got a picture with him. That was about my training with him. I know that Nate
still
got
cool. I'd love to get a picture
right.
with Fabio. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of him. Yeah. Did you ever see his MMA match against Mark Kerr?
Yes.
Yeah, that is insane. The amount of headbutts he takes in that match.
Oh, it's crazy.
And keeps fighting. It's just his face looked like he looked like Sloth from the Goonies afterwards. It was insane. But I'm a big fan. He just did a super fight at Abu Dhabi against
yes.
Was it Marius Berry?
Marius Berry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go. What were you saying, Jeb?
Yeah, I will say my only comment on training with him was Nate. I think actually got to do maybe a round with him or some sort of positional drill, and he was in Fabio's closed guard, and he said Fabio grabbed his collar, and he said it felt like he was attached to like a winch on a truck. It just pulled him down, just drug him down. There was nothing he could do about it. And I'll tell you that guy has the gnarliest, like biggest hand of any person I've ever seen. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how it's crazy over the years of doing jiu-jitsu how people's fingers get disformed.
Oh,
I'm an older guy, so you guys don't have this yet, but my fingers are fucked up.
All torn up. Yeah.
Yeah, like my face. Everything's torn up on me. I'm a mess. I'm a mess.
So after what else did you bring back? Besides the standing passing, what other changes to your game did you start to implement after the World's Camp with Alliance?
A lot of De La Riva guard. That was like almost 95% of what they played down there. Obviously they had Cabrini as a coach. So, I mean, it's pretty hard to not have that as a big part of your game. But that's I'd never really dealt with that before. I knew what it was. I'd seen it before, but nobody ever played that game, and it was a learning experience. That's for sure. And work ethic too. I mean, really just it more of the way they trained and the concepts and how they did things. I tried to bring that back and replicate it in my classes as well as I could. Obviously, I'm not Jacare, I'm not Cabrini, I'm not those guys, but I tried to bring back what I could and really step up the level of training we had.
Yeah, I was before you came on. I was telling the guys how basically at Blue Belt, because of my schedule with dental school, I didn't really go to fill in DC's classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays a whole lot at the start, and for the longest time, you were pretty much like my only jiu-jitsu coach, my only influence in jiu-jitsu, and you kind of like molded my game in the the early stages. For a while it was like knee cut, X pass, both of those from you straight to some north-south Kimura details. So like the only things that I was good at were pretty much directly from you.
Well, hopefully it helped you. I don't know. Hopefully it set you down the right path. You've obviously been a fair amount more successful in competition than I have. So that makes me feel good to hear you say that. I'm glad that I could.
Yes, he's caught me with that. He's caught me with that Kimura in competition that you taught him, Jeb. I'm sure you've seen that live.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
So when you were up in Wheeling, you were talking about possibly becoming the canine handler. Is that still something that is going down on the police force with you?
Yeah, it's in the works right now.
That's
in the
pretty
works.
cool. What kind of stuff do you do
probably
with
better than
that
my
then,
training
as
even more.
opposed to like, what kind of differences, what kind of different duties will you have as opposed to like a, just a normal police officer, since you've got, the dog riding along with you.
Sure, it's a full-time job more than anything. It lives with you. You have to train it every day. It's just another full-time job on top of it. And they'll use me for what they need me for, and then I'll have my regular duties on top of it. So it's going to be a fair amount more work, but as a wise man told me, never turn down work. So never turn down an opportunity.
That's right. Jeb, we talked. We actually brought you up on an episode. It was, I don't know. It was about 10 episodes ago. Cody's already laughing,
Uh,
and it was about a story about you in the back seat with a famous female
yeah, I heard about that.
jiu-jitsu girl.
That was
Did you hear
from the
that
Pants
episode?
camp, wasn't it?
What's that?
That was from the
That was at the
Pants camp,
World's
wasn't
Camp.
it? Okay.
That was from the World's Camp. And to clarify, I was not in the back seat with her. I was in the front seat. So let's get that straight. But
Wait, in the
but
front
let's
seat
see,
with
the
her?
awkward
With the
back.
front seat with her? She was in the back seat?
she was in the back seat. It was an awkward
Okay.
ride from Alliance headquarters to the hotel. Nate and I in the front seat. Gabby Garcia, Luana Alzagar, and Sergio Moraes were in the back seat, and they probably knew at the time about 10 words in English, and they were carrying on in Portuguese and laughing and pointing. And I can only imagine what they were saying about us. It was just it's a funny story now, but it was pretty uncomfortable at the time. Pretty uncomfortable.
See, I had it in my mind all this time that you were in the back seat with her, all by yourself, and
No,
it's a
no,
it's a starry night in West Virginia, and you guys are
I
like
may have
some
embellished a bit.
you guys are at some
no.
you guys are at
Unfortunately, that's
Lookout
not how it
Point in
went.
West
I like to
Virginia.
tell you otherwise, but
Oh, you would?
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to say otherwise?
what's that?
Are you sure you
Are
want to
you
say
sure you would?
otherwise?
Just,
I can't hear you
just say
guys. You're
no.
breaking up on me.
Just
I
say
don't know
no.
if you want to hear that. Yeah, just say no. Just
Okay,
say
I
no.
probably don't then. We'll just leave it
We're
at
incriminating you, Mr. Officer, Sergeant. We're incriminating you, Sergeant.
that.
Jeb, I'm glad you came on. Remember, we actually talked about all of us doing a podcast together. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. I'm glad you guys continued on with it. And I'm really, I'm happy to see that it's looking successful and everything. And anytime you guys want me on here, I'd be more than happy. I'm no one special, but I'll talk to you as long as you want me to.
Oh no, you know plenty about jiu-jitsu. And for the Cody's tournament, we're gonna do the podcast from there. So definitely jump on with us
Well, hey, why
Absolutely.
don't we have Jeb do the play-by-play in my spot? I'll be out running around, doing stuff, making sure
Definitely.
everything's running smooth. So Jeb
Definitely.
can steal the mic for a
you do
while.
that, Jeb, or are you gonna be busy? Can you jump on?
Yeah, no, I can jump on, absolutely.
Nice,
Great,
good.
great. Okay, well, hey, I think you said you have to get to work pretty soon, right?
Yeah, it's about that time.
Anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs? Give the gym address, website, all that stuff. The mic is yours
Sure.
now.
Absolutely. The website to my gym is bridgeportbjj.com. We're located in Bridgeport, West Virginia. I'd like to thank all the guys from Ground Zero Morgantown, first of all, Don Canan, Phil Davis, Josh Fowler, Josh Schwecker, who's a close friend of mine who's living out of state now training, Cody, all the guys that I came up with, man, if it weren't for you guys pushing me, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did, which I don't even know if you could say was very far. But I also like to thank the guys at my gym in Bridgeport right now, all the Chads, because we have about 6 of them. All the guys that kind of cut the cover for me when I can't make it and pick up the slack and keep the place running nice and smooth. So I want to thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming
Hey, no
on, Jeb.
problem.
Stay
Thanks for
safe
coming
out
on.
there.
All right, guys. Take care.
Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bye.
That's pretty cool how back in if you think about it, 2009 wasn't that long ago. I mean, it doesn't sound like it was that long ago, but really, 5 years is a long time. The level of jiu-jitsu media wasn't quite as prevalent as it is right now. The three of us can do a podcast on jiu-jitsu in 2014. I don't know if we would have been able to pull it off in 2009. There wasn't
not without
there wasn't
that
as
gentleman
much.
not without that gentleman with the beard
That's
right
right.
there. That
That's
Greek
right.
Spartan right there. There's no way, because if I was doing it, we were doing AOL dial-up, and
So
it would look really
there
fucked
wasn't
up.
as much information out. I mean, there was more than there was in 2000, but still, I thought it was interesting how Jeb went to Atlanta and basically it transformed his game from passing from the knees, closed guard to all these dynamic open guard competition style games and standing passes, and how he was able to kind of bring that back and kind of spread it.
Definitely,
From the
definitely was
source.
nice having him on.
So,
What's up, Steph?
Mr. Darren Branch put up a new video today, and he would like us to critique it, if you guys don't mind.
Well, without looking at it,
Can-
I know that it's awesome. I can tell you
Yeah,
that right now.
I can screen share with
Can
you
you
guys.
can you post it on it? Can you? Yeah.
Yep, and I can. Give me a second. So can you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
I see. I see a girl
Looks
in a
like it's
bikini.
loading.
Oh,
That was Jeb, not a girl.
no, no, I see a split screen. Animated girl, and
No,
so she's in a bikini.
hold on.
Oh, here we
There
go.
it is.
Yeah, it's up.
And then I'll do that. Okay, so everybody at home can see it too.
Nice.
You can all share
Single
this.
leg hip toss.
Yep.
It says in the corner.
All right, and hit play right now. Jiu-jitsu with Keebler.
Hello, Internet! It's your boy, Keebler, Gracie Humaytak Cleveland. C-L-E. I'm here with my boy, Adi, and I want to share a technique with you.
Is it playing?
A lot of
Oh, yeah.
times, people ask me, Keebler, how do you do a hip
It's a little
throw?
choppy on my
And
screen.
of course, I can be like, well,
But
I
I see what's
hug
going on.
you, and I secure the arm,
playing it on my
and I
phone,
step
too.
back and slide, and all these wonderful steps that we teach to children, to help them throw people. But you're not gonna throw Adi like that. You're not just gonna walk up on Adi in a tournament, put him in cement shoes,
Maybe we're not hearing the volume.
and then walk around here. You're in cement shoes, how dare you?
Everybody else can.
And walk around him and hug him and throw him. That's not gonna happen. So how can we set it up to make it realistic? I like to use the snatch single. Okay? So what I'm gonna do
So I
here,
guess
guys,
Darren is
I'm
basically
gonna slap and
I'm watching the
bow.
video.
I
He's
reach
basically
out
explaining
straight, like I'm reaching for a
a
punch.
realistic
I'm shuffling my feet and I'm
single leg
popping
hip
to the center.
toss
You
that
guys
a person
have
would
this
not
leg.
just sit still
It circles it in
and
towards
just
me.
take a
Now I
hip
release
toss.
this grip, lower my level with
That's
my
what he's
head
kinda
up.
explaining,
I step
because I
in
can't
here and I
hear it
take
right
the
now.
single. If the guy sprawls on me,
A couple seconds
I'm
ago,
gonna
that's
feel
what he's
tension on
explaining.
my grip.
So he's coming off
When
the
I feel
single
that
leg
tension, I immediately let go.
and he's adjusting.
And my
He
hands
grabs the
find
collar.
him. I don't step around him.
Coming up here.
I don't think about it. I don't pass go or collect $200. I jump in and explode.
Well, so it
Make
goes up and
sense?
down. So it goes from
Let's
single
look at
to the hip toss.
I go for the snatch single in earnest. Right? And here I'm popping, I'm lowering my level. I can't just snatch single.
Oh, so
But when I
it
feel
starts
him stretch, I don't wait.
Cross grip, switch to a single. Nice.
Make
Wow, that's so
sense,
fast
Adi?
too.
Yes,
It's
sir.
really-
I hope so.
Better when you watch
Wait.
it.
Goodbye, Internet.
No, I'm watching. I'm watching.
Yeah,
it here.
I'm
I'm seeing it. It's really really quick. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's very. I love it. I love it. He needs to make more videos.
He does.
He needs to make
Yeah,
more
it's
videos
pretty
and
cool.
post them on the on our page.
Yeah.
I like that. It was very cool. That
So-
was very cool.
my one question, since I was watching it in slow motion and you got it on your phone, is he waiting for the guy to defend the single leg, or is he just kind of using the single leg as an entry right into it? Is he switching up? Is he switching gears pretty much as soon as he's on the single
He's
leg
grabbing
to
the
the hip
collar.
toss?
Going to the single leg and right. It's quick. It's collar, single leg, hip toss. So it's really
Switch.
it's really
Okay, so
dynamic.
he's
Quick,
not-
yeah.
He's not waiting to defend the single leg. He's
No,
just going right into it.
It's almost like a punch. He's shooting it across,
Okay.
coming in
Cool.
and hip tossing. It's really quick. It's really nice. It's really. I'm actually studied the video a little more. Thank you, Darren, and please send us make more videos
Yes,
because
definitely.
Yeah.
I'll watch videos all day. I will watch videos, and I will watch Darren CLE videos all day. I will watch them all day. Hey, and speaking of our videos that are coming out, Cody, have you noticed how much we've been man crushing on Tom Cause in our videos?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like insane. It's like it's insane.
It's the
We are
hair.
basically he's not even in matches and we're talking about him. We're just it's like
Well,
a
hey,
unicorn running across the mat like we've never seen it before. It's just this magnificent man just comes like this rainbow shooting out behind him. It's just awesome. It's just
I texted Cody when
it's just insane how it's insane how we glow every time this gentleman comes on.
I told
It's
Cody
awesome.
it's
Speaking
when
of
he goes
Tom-
against when he goes against Dan Swift, is the bald versus the beautiful. No offense to Dan.
you know, last week I was talking about how we ended up on the underground forum, and I thought that the mysterious poster was Tom Cause. He let me know that I was in fact correct. It was him. He was the one that shared it to the underground. So I
Tom
managed
Cause is
to
actually teaching a
get
seminar.
my account unlocked.
Tom Cause is teaching a seminar in Columbus at Dustin's. Let me find out when it is, since we're speaking about Tom.
Yeah, let's get that info out there.
Let me see where it's at. Go ahead. Say what you were saying about the underground.
Oh yeah, remember how I was saying I tried to post on the thread that Tom's hair was awesome, and my account was locked. Well,
really-
thankfully they
it's really
unlocked my account. Yeah.
Let me see.
No, actually, I never even post anything. I've been a member on the underground since like 2008, and I have like 100 posts. So I can't imagine that I did anything that they deemed unacceptable. I think it was just an accident because I sent an email that night, and like the next afternoon they were like, "Okay, you're unlocked." So I got to keep my cool username. But the surprise was ruined because I was going to hopefully post anonymously and creep on Tom from a distance. Ruin the surprise.
Anyway, I'm gonna find out. I can't find it right now, but I will post. I believe he is teaching a seminar at Dustin's, and I think he's teaching some classes up at Darren. I saw posted. I will put those links on there.
Cool.
Tom's awesome. He did really good. He had that awesome sweep. He did really good this week, and he went against that big boy. He did real good.
Yeah.
And Stephanie's just still posting some more matches up this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna start on the girls' matches next
Cool.
because I did all the good quality D matches. I'll get the other ones up. They're not gonna be as good quality because that's when me and Donald ran out for a minute. So I'll get some of them up, but I'm gonna try to do the girls next, get some of their matches up, and then I'll start into the nogi.
I saw
also
you
we
posted
have,
I saw you
go ahead,
posted
go
my favorite video of the entire day recently. Marcus and Hardwood.
Oh yeah.
And they
Yeah, that match
that
was
was awesome. That was, if you haven't watched that, we posted Alex Hardwood versus Marcus, and I forget his last name, but it was one of our recent posts. Two blue belts. Both of these guys could definitely make a splash at the world level at blue belt, and they just went at it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Part 1 was the gi. Part 2 is the finals of the nogi.
Are they both posted? All I saw was the gi one. Is
No,
the
just
no
gi
gi one up now
just
too?
the gi one.
Oh.
I haven't even gotten to nogi yet. And then I'll post up the interview with the little kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Incredible.
Good. That was nice. That was loose.
Yeah, that'll be up
That was
too.
nice. I'd like to see that. That was pretty cool.
Um,
And what else? Oh, also about Nick Nutter.
Hell yeah.
Cody.
I wanted to announce that next week's guest is going to be none other than Nick Nutter, my regional. Listened to our podcast from last week when I told the story about how he said he had a buddy that did that UFC stuff, and it turned out to be a guy that was punching Igor Vovchanchyn in the face. But anyway, he had Nick listen to it, and Nick's going to come on. He wants to tell some funny old fight stories. I know it's a jiu-jitsu podcast, but when a guy messages you and says that he wants to talk about using Paul Varlin's mouthpiece a couple times for fights, drinking Igor Vovchanchin's dirty foot bucket ice water accidentally, and using his Speedo briefs. You can't turn that down. So next week we've got some interesting old fight stories with Ohio native Nick Nutter.
And Nick Nutter, so people know, he played a big part in MMA. Just because he wasn't in the UFC or Pride, he played a big part in American MMA, believe it or not. A lot of his matches that he had with Igor are what put American wrestlers back into like MMA again. He played a big part. People just don't realize that, especially a lot of the younger guys now. They might not even know who he is. But if you go on YouTube and you check out the old IVCs and the old fights that they had in like Israel and Brazil, he played a big part. And it's gonna be awesome to have him on here. I can't wait. So take us home, Stephanice.
All right. Well, you spent another hour with us. Well, 45 minutes, I guess. We started late with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu hour. I need to ice my shoulder because I rolled kind of hard, even though my shoulder hurts. It didn't hurt when I was rolling, but as soon as I got in the car and started driving home, it was in pain. So I need to take it easy, I guess. So,
All right, well, good night from the Injured Reserve podcast.
yeah,
Yes.
we are all on EIR right now.
Yes, we are.
Everybody
Yes, we
have
are.
a good week, have a safe week. Well, no matter what you're doing, if you're competing, if you're training, if you're just working and you enjoy listening to us. Have a good night.
Peace.